Streaming the live event. Okay. And we are live, I hope. Who knows? I don't. Maybe we're live, maybe we're not. It is Sunday, the 11th of February, which means I am precisely 2 weeks away from getting back to the UK. However, this week we have the wonderful, the fabulous, the Emily Hester. Hello.
Ta-da! Hello. It's me. I haven't been on one of these ones for ages.
It's been a while.
How many? It has been a while since I've been on a Snappy-Tech one.
It's been pre-Christmas.
Oh wow, that is a long time.
It's been over 2 months. However, you're here now, and that's what matters most. So if you're not aware, Emily is wait, which side is it? This side. Emily is she is the co-host of the Snappy Talk podcast, which runs every Wednesday. Same time, but over on the Snappy Talk YouTube channel instead of a Snappy-Tech one. We talk about, life, my upbringing, or our upbringings and stuff like that. It's really fun. It's a lot more fun than this is. Not to say that this isn't fun. It's just, this is, frequently brought back to the world of tech, whereas the Snappy Talk one is just random fun all the time. So,
That's great.
So Emily, I want to start by talking about you, because A, since the last time you've been on, and B, since the first time you've been on, a lot has happened, right? the first time you were on this podcast, or the first time we really spoke, right? Like, we started talking again. You were in a very different situation to the one you're in right now. And what is...
Yes, I think I'd literally just started my Twitch.
Yes.
Whew.
So why don't you tell the wonderful viewers at home the situation you're in now?
Oh goodness. So, Twitch has been a roller coaster. I've been through. I haven't been through. Everyone on Twitch has been through weird things recently. What with half the people leaving and most of the people coming back. So we had. I recently hit 1,000 followers, which is almost nearly 1.3k now, which is insane because I've only been at 1k for like a week. So.
I remember talking to you like 2 days later, and you were already at like 1.1, and you were like, "This is crazy."
I know. I was like, "What did I do?" But yeah, so I've had that. I've been busy doing Discord stuff and helping people do Discord things, which is fun because Discord is temperamental. But we won't go into that. What else is there? I don't know. I've been moderating other people's stuff as well, which is weird. Something I never thought would happen. People being like, "Hey, can you mod my stuff?" And I'm like, okay, I guess if you want me to, I can do that. I got new icons, new art. Lots of things have been overhauled since the first time I've been on. Overhauled twice, I think.
Yes, it would be twice.
It would be twice, because I had stuff with a team I was with, and then I was like, okay, I'm going to do it on my own. Started doing it on my own. I think actually, yeah. This is the longest period of streaming I've actually been on my own for, because I got picked up pretty quickly. I think it was like 2 months in that they were like, "Hey, can you join us?" And I was like, "Oh, all right,"
Yeah.
So this is like the longest period I've been streaming on my own, and it's going pretty well, surprisingly.
So when are you starting your own company, your own network?
My own network? Oh God, I don't know. I mean,
hang on, wait. More importantly, what would you call it? If you had your own network? What would it be called?
My own network? Oh, I actually don't know.
Because we have I'm thinking about YouTube, right? We have like Maker Studios. What are the other ones? Remember when Machinima was a thing?
Oh, Machinima!
Remember when they actually were a thing that existed?
I loved Machinima.
Machinima is now more dead than we are alive right now.
Oh.
It
was such a good thing, though. Machinima was such a good. It was a good idea as well, which was.
And then
nice.
they tried to replace YouTube on YouTube, and that didn't quite work.
No, don't try
Machinima's downfall was when they tried to make their own content. From what I remember, because this is years ago now, but I think Machinima's downfall was they tried their hand at original content, and that wasn't why anyone watched Machinima. And so they just died. Flopped.
Yeah, probably. But I do miss. Oh, I completely forgot about that until like you mentioned it now. I was like, wait.
So what would your
yeah.
what would your thing be called? Would it be like let me think. Would it be, I don't know, X networking? X network?
Probably something
The
like
X.
that.
Oh my god, no, wait, hang on. No, because the X network sounds like a really bad reality TV show. Like it sounds like a show where you have to go on and like live in a house with just your exes. Like it's you and 4 exes in a house.
Got to be like X on the beach all over again. That'd be weird if I went on that show. What would happen there? Like,
right? Like, wow, the name is right on 2 fronts.
Yeah, because I am on a beach. If I ever do a beach vlog, that's what I'm going to call it. X on the beach.
Yes. That's great. You should do a beach vlog just for that.
Just for that, yeah. Got to be careful what I wear though, because of the new Twitch TNCs might boot me off the platform. Rip.
So on the subject of being booted off the platform, I just sent you a link because I just remembered that this happened.
Right. Oh, let me
let's talk Logan Paul. And here's the reason I want to. Here's the reason I want to talk about Logan Paul. It's because these episodes are put primarily on or initially on YouTube, right? Mm-hmm. Before they're put into the audio only form that goes out to everyone else. I think it's important that we remember that, and B, because YouTube is such a big deal, it's quite hard not to talk about it, right? So I don't want to linger on this too long, but it's something that we definitely need to talk about. So YouTube has before we talk about what YouTube has done, let's talk about the situation leading up to this. Logan Paul lost his super duper, I forget what it's called, like YouTube preferred advertisers. That's the one.
Oh, he lost that.
So he lost his. So this is back when the whole Suicide Forest situation happened. He lost that like straight away. Mm-hmm. Then he came back, right? He made the apology video, that jazz, He then did his coming back video, and which was, him talking with an actual suicide survivor. That was, I think we both agreed that was a genuinely good video.
Yeah, we spoke about that on the other podcast.
Yeah, we spoke about that on the Talk podcast.
It was pretty good.
I mean, it
wasn't like.
I think what made that so good was the fact that it wasn't him talking, right? Mm-hmm. It was that he
made an effort. Yeah.
So we had that, and then after that, he made like his first actual video back, which was just atrocious. Like it showed me at least that he hadn't learned anything.
No, he had learned nothing at all.
Because he was like, there's like a point where the voiceovers are like, disgraced YouTuber Logan Paul, and Logan's like, what do you mean disgraced? What other YouTuber can take a 3-week break and still gain 1 million subs? And I was just like, oh, for Christ's sake, he's clearly learned nothing. So since then, Logan Paul hasn't exactly been making quality content, for lack of a better term.
No, he hasn't. He really hasn't.
You'd think that after that he'd, do more reasonable things.
Actual content.
But nope. He oh god, this is crazy just to be talking about. So what did Logan Paul do, I hear you ask? I'm glad you asked. He tased not 1 but 2 dead rats. And then he also took a fish out of a pond and was like, oh no, it's dying, and pretended to give it CPR.
I just... Yeah, okay, yeah, so he
yeah.
He's still an idiot, is what's happened there.
So, in response to this, YouTube has decided that... let me pull up. So, the YouTube creator's Twitter tweeted... In response to Logan Paul's recent pattern of behavior, we've temporarily suspended ads on his channels. Temporarily being expected to be a month.
Is that it? He's not gonna... Carry on.
So 0 advertising for a month. And then, I think, it's the most YouTube can do in this situation, right? Taking away his revenue for a month. because it does also impact YouTube in the short term. I think in the long term, it's the right thing to do to just get rid of them as a whole, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, I'd say so.
Because, every time something like this happens, they're basically, YouTube is basically made fun of. And I think enough of these happen and then it's a real major issue. But the best short-term solution in this case is to suspend it. But yeah, it's the poor kid, poor.
I think it's because, wasn't it because Peter kicked up a fuss? It wasn't even like because he'd done it, it was because someone else was like, whoa, okay. Well, what's going on there? Like another company, an animals charity stepped in and was like, this is kind of messed up.
I wouldn't be surprised, but I'm not 100% certain.
Because they did, I remember seeing something about Peter tweeting something about it and saying like, hey, this isn't appropriate, this is wrong. I mean, the animals, like the rats were dead, obviously, yeah, but it's still an animal, you shouldn't be doing that kind of stuff, And I feel like that's why they probably did it, because it wasn't necessarily because they wanted to punish the golden child, it was because someone else had sort of been like, yo, this is you shouldn't really be having this on your site, but I'll leave that up to you, sort of thing.
So I just want to Taylor Lawrence, who's the tech culture reporter at The Daily Beast, she is a very good writer, just want to point that out. She was tweeting when this happened, saying cutting all ads on his channel is going to have a major impact on his dollars. Losing Google preferred ads already cut his revenue by approximately 50%.
Wow.
Because Google preferred is a major deal. And then on top of that, unlike his brother Jake, he doesn't have a broader squad like Team 10 that he can make money off of.
True.
I wouldn't be surprised, and Taylor also points out that Logan is probably going to push his merch even harder than ever before.
Because he's basically earning next to nothing off of YouTube now.
Yeah, that's his only income stream at this point. Both of them are merch machines where their vids are really just vehicles to sell merch, which is true and kind of terrifying.
Yeah, because I mean, even at the end of the original, the video that started off this downfall, wasn't it like right at the end he was like, buy my merch?
Yeah. No, in fact, did you see that like Jake Paul dropped like a Christmas album? It's like 12 songs of him just telling people to buy his merch.
I didn't know he did that.
Did you not? Like, let me. You know what? I did. H3H3 did a really good video about this, and I want to show you it. So Logan Paul had a song. So Logan Paul released a song. Jake Paul, being the one who takes things a bit too far sometimes, dropped an entire album. And can we talk about the KSI thing as well at some point?
I was wondering when you were going to bring that one up.
However, let me grab the Christmas song. So this is the Logan Paul Christmas song. So 12 Days of Christmas, that isn't one I want though. I want the other one. But 12 Days of Christmas one is really bad. When you remember that his audience is like 9-year-olds, right?
9. Yeah. And they're all I think the weird thing is though, they're doing it incredibly well because they know that these kids, even if they can't steal mummy and daddy's credit card to buy it, they can ask for it for birthdays or for Christmas or can you buy me this please, and the parents will just be like whatever, it's what they've asked for, sort of thing.
So I've sent you the thing. Let me pull up the lyrics as well. I can't. Okay, hang on. So
I already don't like it.
So this is Jake Paul's song All I Want for Christmas. We'll play the first 30 seconds ish, because that's about as much as we can play without getting struck by YouTube. Struck down by the powers that be. So let me do this, make it full screen, hit play.
Oh boy. Oh Lord, that's subtle, isn't it? That is
merch,
quite something.
buy that merch, 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 buy that merch. Said, all I want for Christmas is that Jake Paul merch.
So that's
it's so subtle. I mean, I would
right.
never.
Who would have
never
caught that on their own?
Would never have guessed that.
The crazy thing is, if you skip to the end of this video, right? If you skip to like 2:25 real quick, right? Watch the last few seconds.
There isn't like a link to his merch. And...
No. It's even worse than that. So the end of a song, he goes, "Buy this song on iTunes." Like it's not like it's a song someone actually
would buy. Who in their
so
right
not
mind
only is he using this song to like upsell all of his merch, he's then like, "Oh, don't forget to buy this song on iTunes."
buy the song too.
Can you imagine being that guy?
The only reason I would get that song is to use it as like a troll thing. Like if I ever came out with a merch line, just every
oh, you know
so
what
often,
I do?
put the
I'd set it
first
as my
30
ringtone.
seconds.
I'd have it as my
Put the first 30 seconds of just buy the merch, buy the merch, buy the merch. Oh,
right?
God.
So that was Jake Paul's song, right? But most of the song is literally buy that merch. All I want for Christmas is Jake Paul merch. Fanjoy.co/Jake Paul. Go there, buy it, spend $100 and you get free shipping. Like that's literally the entire song. We also have the Logan Paul song, which is a Santa Claus diss track.
Oh, wow.
This is way less subtle, because the other one was already subtle.
Yeah, subtle.
So let's play this.
I don't know, bro. He said it was Christmas.
Bro, yeah, Santa.
So skip to like 20 seconds in until.
Christmas.
Okay, 30
Oh,
seconds
hi,
in.
Mr. Claus. It's me, Logan Paul. 22 Christmases, I ain't heard from you at all. Yeah. Now maybe because I'm naughty, or maybe because I'm nice. Maybe because I met
I didn't
Mrs.
even know he
Claus
did
and hit
this.
it
To be honest, I didn't
twice.
even
Sneaking
know
down my...
he did this.
Sorry, you're
kind
gonna
of
have to say
thing.
that again.
I didn't know he did it. This kind of stuff, to be honest. Like, I didn't think it was a thing.
So these are the opening lines. Oh, hi, Mr. Claus. It's me, Logan Paul. 22 Christmases, ain't heard from you at all. Maybe because I'm naughty, maybe because I'm nice, or maybe because I met Miss Claus and hit it twice. You can't just call out Santa like that.
Jesus, I love how they're all wearing his merch as well. That makes me
Well,
die.
obviously.
Oh, God, anyway.
The craziest bit though, the bit that really gets me, right? Isn't that right? That's kind of hilarious more than anything else. It's
it's kind of funny.
it's the pre-chorus and the chorus, right? So if you go to, let me see where it is. Okay, so if you go to 1 minute and 7 seconds in, he goes, "Yeah, I rip that merch. Yeah, I rip that merch. Yes, I do in church. Get it? It's a Jake Paul callback. Yeah, I put in work. Right? That's a pre-chorus. Not too bad. The chorus goes, "Who's that Santa looking at? Take your gifts and give them back. Maverick merch is where it's at." So he's basically telling like the kids, like, unless you're getting Maverick merch, your parents don't love you.
You don't want it.
Like, your parents don't love you enough to give you Maverick merch.
Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Jesus. Alright. Okay. Things need to stop.
The craziest part is, like, A, it's not cheap, and B, it's not good. Like, all of the merch is like, and it's different when it's, marketed to adults and it's marked up for that reason. This is like again, to kids, right? They have a t-shirt that costs $28. And that is, I think that might be literally the cheapest thing on the store.
See, the thing, I'm not gonna lie, most merch for YouTubers, for Twitch people, t-shirts in general are literally, it's a plain white t-shirt with something printed on it. It's not like embroidered, it's just printed, and I get people need to make commission, I understand that, but $28 for a print on a t-shirt!
So in contrast, what's the name I'm trying to think of right now? Oh, also, I just want to mention, he also sells a backpack. Do you want to guess how much that costs?
Ooh. 50.
Nope.
40?
Nope. Higher.
More or less. 60?
Higher.
$75.
Higher.
90.
Yes. $90 for a, let's be honest
some
here,
merch.
kind of bad backpack.
So the thing is, right, I understand, like, there's some merch that I wouldn't begrudge spending that on. Like, you know, some people do the really nice varsity jackets, and they're, like, puffy jackets, and they've got, like, a really nice, like, baseball text on the back. They've got a number. Some of them are embroidered. They've got really nice, like, I don't mind spending, if you want to spend, like, 90 quid on merch, if it's good stuff, do it. But 90 quid for a backpack.
So in contrast, I'm just looking at Tomska real quick. His merch store's kind of down right now. Oh, no, it's not. It's back again. It just glitched for a second. So in contrast, looking on Shark Robot, which is where Tomska merch used to be sold, doesn't seem to be here anymore. That's where it used to be.
Maybe he has his own store now.
Probably. Well, I was on his website, and that's where it was saying to go. It's $20 for a t-shirt, but these aren't like
Reasonable.
you know, a couple of words across the t-shirt. This is like proper like artwork t-shirts as well.
Yeah.
Like these are custom.
Sort
Yeah,
of
they're
thing.
custom designs. And then looking at, do they have backpacks? I don't think he does.
Not many people do. Like, I've seen a couple of people that have drawstring bags, but not like full on like
Yeah, no, he doesn't have full-on
backpack
backpack.
things. Yeah, I mean, a drawstring bag I could get because you could sell them pretty cheap, and for like 10 quid you can have a backpack with a logo on it, sort of thing. But I haven't actually seen many people have like a full on, like, generally what I've tend to see is like t-shirts, hoodies, hats, maybe snapbacks, socks, if you mugs. You know, some people I've seen that have like stuffed toys of their like mascot or something. So say like, I know like Tom Scar probably does, but I know Cry, I think you used to be able to buy like a Sup Guy little plushy thing.
I know
I
that a
haven't
lot of
really
animators do that as well. Like a lot of animators have plushies. Those
you
are
can
usually
buy
good.
like a plushie, which are pretty cool, but I've never seen anyone do like a fully fledged you know. But then again, he's appealing to kids, which would be in school, so a backpack would make sense, really.
So why do you ask if we've heard Rice Gum's Christmas song?
I have.
I haven't, and I'm
Hey,
kind of
this
glad
is-
I
this
haven't,
is,
to be
like,
completely
several
honest.
months too late to be talking about Christmas songs.
It's 2 months too late, but I think it emphasizes how much of a merch machine these people are, which is crazy.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, there's one thing I do kind of admire about that circle. They're being straight up front. They do just want your money, and they're not scared to say that.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, because most people are like, oh no, it's not about the money. I do it because I want to create. And it's like, don't plug your merch at every end. If you got to eat. We know you need money. Just say you want us to buy your shit, okay?
Yeah,
you know?
I think it's
Like-
different because, you know, it's YouTube is something that has become a career option in the last couple of years, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
The people who did YouTube when it first became a thing, right? Philip DeFranco, Tomska, Freddie Wong with Rocket Jump, Rhett and Link, John and Hank Green. These people, like, when they became YouTubers, you couldn't make money off YouTube. It was literally this would be
Just
fun
to
to
create
do.
stuff.
Right. Whereas now it is, you know, just
A career.
a
sort of
career
thing.
choice. And so you
And
can't...
I think the thing is now is,
Sorry, go for it.
especially if you want to produce content frequently, because the quality of content now is so high compared to what it used to be. I mean, you've got people sitting there and animating like 15-minute long videos to a very high animation standard. If you want any chance of being able to make it or to become successful with it, you need to put in a lot of time equivalent to that of having a full-time job. So it only makes sense that you'd be able to make money from it, because now you have to put in so much effort to make what is now a good video, sort of thing. Like, there's a lot of stuff that has to go into it, whereas before you could just kind of do a skit and it was funny, and that was a good video because it was funny. But now it's like, if it doesn't have all of these fancy edits in it, and it doesn't have like stuff that pops up on the screen or good cuts or good lighting or whatever, it's not good enough. It doesn't cut it.
Yeah.
You know. So I suppose that's something that's changed. It's now become more like a full-time job as well. If you want to make good stuff and you want to make it your career, you now have to put in Like I know people that put in like weeks of effort for like one animation video sort of thing, you know, and
I know
it's
that The Odd
insane.
Ones Out has like 2 weeks to make a video is the normal turnover.
Yeah, it's insane. It is insane. Like, and I really admire that actually, because it's just, whew.
Yeah, and
it's insane what people
especially when
can do
YouTube's
on YouTube
algorithm
now.
isn't exactly on your side in that situation.
Oh yeah, especially when you have, if you want to become a partner now, like I know people that do like little animation videos that are like what 30 seconds long, and I mean they're funny, they're brilliant, but getting that average viewer time up, it's gonna be really hard.
And what I
You know,
find crazy
when you have
is
videos.
like, especially from like the Jake and Logan Paul perspective, these two are like, constantly telling you to buy their merch. And then they're constantly talking about how rich they are because you bought their merch.
I know, it's like we're just falling into this trap of giving them money. You know. And I
Well, I
think
like to hope you and I aren't, but you know.
Oh no, I haven't actually bought any merchandise from anyone in like years. Not because I don't want to, just because I just haven't.
So when are
Like,
you selling merchandise?
Fun story about that actually. I'll leave that to your imagination.
Merch confirmed?
Maybe.
Do I get some? Do I get some?
You can have a signed one.
Really? That'll go for like... Actually, can you not sign it? Because I feel like that'd devalue it.
Oh wow.
It'll make it
But
worth
yeah,
less.
like, probably would, like I've drawn on it or something. But like, what were we talking about? Something about merch. Yeah, I don't know. Like, there's merch like I want, but it's just a t-shirt, and I don't like. I have merch shirts from like concerts and stuff, but I don't wear them because I just bought it because I wanted to be like, hey, look at what I got when I went to this convention, or I don't wear them. I just buy them to have them. Like, and I feel like with like YouTubers and Twitch merch and all that kind of stuff, like I wouldn't. I mean, there's a couple of people that I would buy and I would wear it for because the designs are cool, but like, I don't know. I'm just not that kind of person that would wear it. It's weird.
Yeah.
I'd wear my own, but it's because it's mine. But I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I would have been when, like, back in the day when I was like 12 or 13, I probably would have done, and I did religiously wear like my merchandise every day if I could get away with it.
Oh my days.
But,
you're a horrible
I had
person.
so many different band shirts. If I wasn't wearing a band t-shirt, everyone was like, Emily, what the hell are you wearing today? Where's your Arctic Monkey shirt or something?
Where's your clothes?
Yeah. What happened to your wardrobe? That's basically what it was. Like, what happened to your wardrobe? Where's all your merch gone?
And you're like, Logan Paul sold me too hard on his merch. I couldn't afford anything else because I just bought one Logan Paul t-shirt.
I bought a Logan Paul backpack and my bank was just burnt dry. Like, it'll be an interesting day when I meet up with someone like face to face and I see them wearing like a Logan Paul t-shirt or something.
I couldn't bring myself to talk to them. I don't think I'd be able to.
Especially in the UK, like that's $28. So that's what, $26.50?
Less than that.
$25.50, $25.75, something like that.
It is 20 quid.
20 quid. Okay, so that's not bad.
But then there's also, remember, postage, especially because it's from the US.
And import tax, and so the shirt's probably going to cost you like 40 quid.
30, 35.
Yeah, 30, 35 quid from the UK, which is a lot for a t-shirt, But, that's also another reason why I haven't bought merch, because most people are in the US and shipping is expensive. Yay!
Swardine asks, when does the Snappy-Tech merch release? It won't. Hate to say
when
it.
do we get like team shirts with our name on them?
Team shirts are a work in progress. They will actually be a thing for when we're at events.
Yay!
We'll have
that'd be cool.
They'll actually be hoodies, not shirts. So we'll have team hoodies. I've been genuinely looking. I've been genuinely designing them, and I think they look really cool. They're like an all blue hoodie with the Snappy-Tech logo in white, so it looks like it's like cut out of the hoodie.
That's cool.
So those will be team hoodies, and I think we'll order a few extra, and we'll see how that goes.
Giveaway.
give one or two away. But yeah, Snappy-Tech
Ooh, that's
hoodies
cool.
will be a thing that happens purely for like when we're at
Yay.
events. They'll be big for that. And then
That makes
also,
sense.
we're currently working on our Patreon, which won't get you any merch, but it will get you a lot of other stuff. A lot of cool behind the scenes things.
Behind the scenes stuff, yeah, they're always fun to see. I like
And
those.
then let me pull it up. Let me give you a quick sneak peek. So the page isn't actually finished. I still have a video I need to film for it. But we currently have 2 ways that you can give us money. And I'm making a whole video about this. So this is just a brief overview. We have, if you want to donate to us. Oh, hang on, we've just cut out for a second. There we are. We're back again. We have, if you want to donate to us, and if you want to like get something back. So we'll have both a Patreon and a Coffee page. So Patreon is, you're aware of Patreon, it's a monthly recurring fee in this case. You can pay anywhere from, $1 to $1 billion a month to us, right? However much you want. The more you pay, the better stuff you get. All the way up to a monthly meetup. So if you pay, I think it's $30 a month, I have it set out.
Oh, that's cool.
We have a monthly meetup in London where we'll all go out, do something with everyone who pays, up to $30 a month.
That's
nice. Before that,
Those
we
are
have
really cool rewards.
Yeah, and then at 20 we have like a monthly Skype call. So everyone who pays over 20 will all get like a special Skype link, and we'll like sit down, we'll chat, whatever. I think you also get to be in 1 episode a month, if I recall correctly.
Oh, that's nice. Those are cool rewards. It's like most people just send pictures and stuff. Like
yeah, so here it is. So
postcard.
this is. Let me pull up the page. Let me pull up the preview page. Can I get a full page preview, please? Please,
Full page preview.
please.
Help, please.
Please. Right. So, I think I can send you this link as well, and you should be able to see it as well.
Yay!
Uno momento. So this is for the donation. Sorry, this is for if you want something back. So there you are. I've sent you the link. Let me change it. So here it is. So you can see it. Again, this is in beta right now. And then we also have some goals. So I'll talk about the goals in a second. So there's a little paragraph at the top being like, wait, you're here. Thanks for joining us. And then at $5,000 per month, there will never be an ad ever again on Snappy-Tech. At 10,000, we will upgrade everything. We'll get a proper studio, some spin-off channels with other stuff. There'll be like a BTS channel, all that jazz. And then at $500,000 per month, because I really wanted to put in like a comical one, right?
Yeah.
So at $500,000 per month, we will take over a live TV studio, like a proper TV studio, and run live until I literally fall asleep. Like, we'll take it over and literally run it until it dies.
We could have like different. That'd be cool. Could you imagine?
So the rewards are at $3 per month, because that's the lowest. That's the lowest one, which also gets you things, right? Because you can do it from $1 per month, but if you give free, you get behind the scenes access to show notes before the podcast, right? Because we'll give it to you at the start of each week instead of right as the podcast starts.
Right. Yeah.
As well as Patreon only polls, voting for video ideas, and stuff like that. At $5, so just $2 more, there'll be a Patreon-only live stream after each podcast. So, we finish at, 10 p.m., call it, but we'll run for another hour, 2 hours for just Patreons to, sit around and chat, all of that.
That'd be nice.
As well as being able to suggest topics for the podcast and being able to ask us questions that we'll answer on the show. At $10, I will add you on Skype, and you will be able to get in touch with me whenever you want directly. There's a note here saying that I have the right to remove/block you if you abuse this perk. If you spam me, you will be blocked. If you ask a few legitimate questions, we'll get on just fine. As well as that, you'll get your name in the description of every new Snappy-Tech video. and all of the previous rewards. At $15, you're allowed to be a guest on the show once per month. And then at $25, we'll hang out once a month. And if there is a large enough group in a foreign country, then I will actually go and visit that country. So, if we have like a group of 15 Patreons who are all in France, for example, I will go to France and we'll have like a meetup there.
Oh, that'd be cool.
So that is the if you want something back side of it. If you just want to donate like as a one-off, right? Because this is a recurring thing, right? This is a monthly thing. If you want to donate as a one-off, we also have a coffee account. So it's ko-fi.com/Snappy-Tech. The reason it's called coffee is because the donations are in increments of £3, because that's the price of a cup of coffee. This is actually live right now, so you can donate to us right now if you want to. ko-fi.com/Snappy-Tech. You can donate as many coffees as you want, and then give a message of support and put in your name if you want. If you don't want, you can make it private. And then this is just a donation. If you like what we do and want to give us a cup of coffee, it's greatly appreciated. We actually got 3 cups of coffee at the end of the last Snappy Talk episode, which was really cool. So thank you to the person. I'm aware of who gave it, but they had the thing as private. So I won't, name drop them. But thank you very much. The coffee I'm drinking right now, it's all thanks to you. So I appreciate it greatly. The next 3 times you see me drinking coffee, it's all thanks to you.
It's all thanks to you.
It's all thanks to you. Swardine says, show notes aren't working. I'm aware of that. It's because there are no show notes. I was meant to drop that link and off the description, I kind of forgot. They'll be in the audio version if you're listening to this after the fact. Coffee is great, and he says, I actually hope this channel blows up one day. Don't worry, I do too.
Trust me.
At 270 videos, at some point, someone has to watch one of them.
I was talking about this to someone the other day. Like, it does. I mean, if you want it to work enough, if you're persistent enough, it will. It's not like sometimes it's an element of luck and an element of work with things like this. Like, you've got to hope on one part that somebody sees it at the right time, but you've also got to keep creating stuff so people can find it.
Yeah, I just want to take a minute to blame Elon Musk for not retweeting my We Are Live tweet for being the reason that we haven't. Damn it, Elon! You had one job.
Yeah.
He's the reason we're not famous right now. It's all Elon's fault.
Definitely.
Oh man, but yeah, we have a bunch of that Patreon page will be set up by the next episode. It will be done by then, where I'll have the link for you guys. You guys can become a Patreon, support us, get behind the scenes access. It's lots of fun. It's at this point, it's all the value we can add. So I'm doing the best I can, and I love how as I'm talking about coffee, someone just donated a coffee.
Oh, that's really nice. Coffees.
Coffee. I can drink me some coffee. Let's read what it says. So log in with Google. Let's see what they said. The great thing about coffee, let's go on a quick. So actually, if you do want to donate coffee and you're listening to this podcast instead of watching it live, there is a button in the show notes that lets you buy us a coffee. It's a big heart. Just click on that and it'll take you straight to the page. If you're listening to this via the Snappy-Tech website, there is a button in the sidebar that lets you donate coffee. It's I think it just reads, buy us a coffee, if I recall correctly. Let me take a look. So yeah. Right at the bottom of the sidebar, there's a button that reads Buy Us a Coffee. Click that and it'll take you to our coffee page. So let's take a look if they left a... So it was Swardine was kind enough to donate us a coffee. He left a message. It's private, but I'm sure he'll be fine with it. It reads, let's get right into the podcast.
Another thing I like about coffee, this podcast has gone on a bit of a different route to what we thought it would be.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. That's how this podcast works.
Yeah, is that like it got a small enough link that you can put in Instagram profiles as well.
Mm-hmm.
So like
Yes,
you can
yeah.
just have like your coffee thing in there, and that's really cool. Because I know a lot of the cosplayers I follow on Twitter have it like in their profile because it's a small link. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I don't have one of those pages. I don't have a Patreon either. I should,
Yes.
but I don't.
Yes, definitely. I think it's different for you because Twitch allows you to take donations, right? So again, having that Patreon gives you that recurring amount.
Yeah.
But for one-off
having a
donations, I think
Patreon-
Twitch gets away with it.
Definitely. I think for Patreon, what I would rather wait for, I think, especially because like I do more like fun, I don't know, entertainment
Mm-hmm.
stuff. I don't really have like, I can't give people show notes or like
Yeah.
what I'm planning to do. I would have to wait until I have like merch or something, or if I've got like things I can frequently do and print out to give to people, because at the moment I don't have that, and it's something I really need to do because you know, which is why I've been doing frantic things on my Discord, because I'm like, I need to make it a little bit more you need to give people things. But yeah, I think the coffee thing is pretty cool though.
But yeah, the great thing about the coffee thing as well is that they don't actually take a fee. It's completely free.
Oh, do they not?
So all
Oh
they
wow,
do,
that's amazing.
all they do is like provide a link to your PayPal, basically.
Oh wow.
Like that's all it is.
That's really amazing.
So they just
So it
like,
really is just a goodwill site type thing then.
yeah, and they
Aw.
so Coffee have their own coffee page as you'd expect.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all they do is like take the message and like track them for you. They don't actually take a percentage or anything.
Oh, that's really nice.
Yeah, it's really cool. So I highly suggest it's ko-fi.com/Snappy-Tech for us. And then I think it might just be ko-fi.com/support coffee if you want to get them a coffee as well, which is good.
Oh,
And
that's
I
nice.
highly suggest. But yeah, so thank you to that. The podcast already has 2 dislikes. What?
Right.
This is actually, I want to talk about this real quick because last week it had 1 dislike, and I think the week before it also had a dislike. It's really bizarre because it's just happened these last couple of weeks, and I'm not sure how. But clearly, what's happening is someone is coming in, disliking, and then leaving.
You're leaving, yeah.
Like, because clearly, like, if they stuck around, it'd be a bit weird if they disliked, right?
I mean,
It's just odd. It's just bizarre.
yeah.
It's fine. I'll just go into all 5 of my alt accounts and give it a bunch of likes.
Just get nice and nice, yeah.
I should mention I've never actually done that. That was a joke before I get called out by bloody Keemstar or something.
I've done it like on one of my friends' channels. I was like,
Yeah, no,
oh,
that's
I can
that's
do-
different. I've
Just
done the
go through
opposite
and,
as well.
Spam it.
I've done the opposite
Same.
where I've gone.
I've done it with dislikes and just flooded every video
Mhm.
with dislikes because I can.
Like,
But
especially like people
not
I
enough
dislike.
to like, not enough to like damage the video or anything. Just like enough to bring the ratio up to like 50%.
Oh, no, I've had it in situations where like, not people. Well, I guess technically people I know, but like people I despise will like make something, and it's also objectively bad, right? So it's not
Ooh,
just
yeah.
the fact that I don't like them; it's also that it is bad
It's
content. So
Yeah.
you know, if it's just that I dislike them, I'll usually give it 1 or 2 dislikes. If it's bad content, I'll give it 1 or 2 dislikes. The fact it's someone I don't like and that's bad content means that I give them
All the
dislikes.
Yeah.
And at this point, I think that's like 7 or 8 accounts at this point because we have so many accounts. It's just hilarious. Oh man. Whew. Should we talk about real tech then at this point? I think we have
can
to.
do, we
have to
can
talk about
do.
actual technology at some point. Before
What are we
that,
starting with?
before that,
Am I
just
straight?
again remember ko-fi.com/Snappy-Tech, all one word. Go do it. I'll love you forever. Right. So. So let me just close. I have so many tabs open now.
Same.
Right. Let's start by talking about, I think let's leave the Game Boy until last. because I feel like that's a nice upbeat note to end on. And unfortunately, until then, we have some very not upbeat things to talk about.
Yeah.
So let's start with talking about the Waymo versus Uber debacle, for lack of a better term. So I had a video that talked all about this and included some humor in it as well. It was crazy. Because the guy who... So basically what happened, if you haven't seen the video, there'll be a link to it in the description or in the show notes. Go give that a watch. But the short version is a member of Waymo, which is it's a Google spin-off. So it's Google's automotive company. Their self-driving cars. An employee of Waymo left the company. When he left, he took, I want to say 19,000 documents or something like that with him. He copied them all over to he didn't actually copy them over to a USB stick. That's what I expect happened, right? That kind of deal. So he had all of the information that Waymo had with him, left Waymo and started his own company. 3 months later, his company is bought by Uber. Uber pay some whatever amount of money for this company, and the employee called Anthony Lewandowski, who I in the video made a joke, but it wasn't Robert Lewandowski because he's a football player, was basically bought so that he could hand over all of the Waymo files. Here's the thing.
Well, yeah.
So, reportedly, Waymo wanted $1 billion in settlement money. Now, the reason that this was such a big deal was because Uber went from having the worst self-driving cars to self-driving cars that were just as good as Waymo's, out of nowhere. And that they were actually using the exact same technology, which is what made them think that this had been a situation, and then it actually was. Yeah. So Uber have decided that instead of giving over $1 billion, they will give Waymo, I think it was 0.34% of a company. So they literally just gave them a chunk of Uber. And I think it works out to $244 million, which is a quarter of what Waymo wanted.
Yeah.
So, it's a win-win, I guess, to some extent.
I mean, they don't get what they wanted, but, they get a fair amount of what they wanted, I guess.
I think in part it's also that you have to remember, in these cases, people ask for more than they know they're going to get, just in case.
Yeah,
right?
Just in case. Because then at least if you say, hey, I want a unicorn and this type of dog, you're probably going to get the dog.
Exactly.
So I suppose that's what they've done. Which, like you say, makes sense. You'd rather ask for, hey, we want the Earth, and then get given a small portion of the country, sort of thing. It's, you set your bar a bit high and you always get something. But I just think the whole situation is just... I vaguely remember hearing about this when it's sort of not as a big thing, but oh, hey, this person's done this, and that was it. Oddly, I feel like it happens more frequently in very large... This is not the first time this kind of thing has happened. If anything, not the first time it's happened to Google, if I'm remembering rightly. There's been a couple of people that have left and taken stuff with them and given it to someone else, and suddenly everyone's been like, whoa, hang on a minute, this was ours, and then you get this big sort of... It seems odd that a company such as this, or a business such as this, wouldn't have more... wouldn't make it as easy to do that kind of thing, if it was as simple
hard
as just
though,
being
right?
You have no way it's incredibly difficult,
especially when you have
checking. There's no way of sort of being do they have it? You can't just go around and be can we check your USB before you... Well, I mean, you could ask to see all of their stuff that they have on them, on their person, to check it, see if they have nothing, but that would be a long and
And
just
you know,
supposed to
and you wouldn't do it the
stick
day
for
you
everyone
leave,
that
right?
left.
You'd
Yeah, no, you'd have to do it premeditated.
yeah,
I mean,
it would be part of a plan, right? You'd stick it on a USB stick and take it. You'd be like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna do some work from home, right? Take a laptop with you and copy everything off it or something like that, right? It's not like if it's your goal to steal all of this company's files, it's not that hard.
you'd be doing it like little bits at a time over a period of months before you leave. You'd already have to know you're leaving before you do it, sort of thing. And then there's this whole thing of, well, you could just straight up say we're not going to allow people to have USBs, but then it stops people from working from home, and then you get a lax in productivity, and then
Right.
there's all these other problems, and it's just like you can't stop it from happening. Once it happens, and then you get this. Lawsuits happen because of. I don't even know if he wanted to, like, it hasn't seemed like it's benefited the guy. Well, he made a company and then sold it for a lot of money, but he now looks like a bit of an arse.
You say now. He looked like a
Yeah.
bit of an arse the moment Uber bought him. Like,
Yeah,
sorry,
true,
bought his
true.
company, I should say.
It just made him look a bit stupid. It's like, yeah, you're rich, but nobody's gonna want to work with you.
Right, yeah,
unless
he's
they're
ruined
Uber,
all of his
really,
future prospects
know.
because of it.
Yeah, because now no one can trust you if you're willing to nick from what is essentially Google.
Yeah.
Who? You are a brave man, sir. Right. Yeah, it has essentially ruined all future career aspects ever for him. But hey ho, he made a lot of money, so does he really have to work again? Probably not.
I assume so. I don't think he made that much money.
Yeah. No, but I'd imagine he made a fair. Have to worry about getting, like, I don't imagine they have to worry about working full time for some amount of years.
I would assume not. His company was called Otto, by the way. I just double checked. It's just a really weird name for a company.
Yeah,
Because get it? It's a pun on the word auto. It's Otto.
I see.
Yeah, he
are they like
downloaded 9.7 gigabytes of Waymo's highly confidential files and trade secrets, including blueprints, design files, and testing documentation.
So they literally, basically, they had the whole kit to just up and make one, essentially. Well, what they could figure out from the blueprints and then fill in with the tech from the test files, they could just make one from all of the stuff he stole. Props to him, that's pretty impressive to pull that off. And to think you could get away with it, Jesus, it's even braver.
So it was expected. They were paid about $680 million for Otto.
Realistically, though, what goes?
Realistically, they paid $1 billion because they also paid for whatever that was.
They must have.
So they actually came out in profit.
And what is absolutely baffling when all these kind of things happen, when information and tech gets stolen or files get leaked, is honestly, how do these people think they're going to get away with it? What in that moment he was like, no, I can get away with this, it's fine, it's only like a multi-billion company that basically owns everything. I mean, what are they going to do to stop me?
Isn't the fact that they basically own everything also kind of terrifying?
I mean, a little bit, but it's either incredibly brave or very, very, very stupid, and I think it's probably the latter.
It's definitely a bit of both.
Idiot. Yeah, he's probably a very smart man, but also very, very stupid.
It was an interesting decision, if nothing else. But I guess both of them will be kind of happy with the outcome. Uber get away with paying a lot less than they thought they would, and Waymo have bigger fish to fry, to be completely honest.
Probably, yeah. I mean, it is as weird as it sounds. Like, it's a pretty serious situation, but it's not. It doesn't feel like it's much skin off their nose. It's something that they've sort of dealt with now. They're like, okay, right, we can just move on to doing what we're doing, focusing on other problems that may be bigger and more important than this one. because it's not like they didn't. In a way, it's not like they didn't know that that's what Uber had done. In a way, it's like, okay, yeah, we can kind of see that your kit and stuff is now basically exactly the same as ours. There's no way in hell you were going to get away with it.
Yeah.
So we've dealt with it now. We know you're doing it. There's no point in you trying to carry on anymore because we're just going to shut it down immediately. So, they've dealt with it as best they can, as quick as they can, probably. And like you say, they've probably got bigger fish to fry.
So since we're talking about crazy stuff, or should I say, not very good stuff, let's go from bad to worse, and talk about Intel's new smart glasses that look a bit too normal to be good for you. So The Verge had so this is these are the glasses. The Verge had an exclusive look at Intel's new smart glasses, and from a distance, they look like regular glasses, minus the red laser in his eye.
Yes, that's not strange at all.
Which you can actually only see at a very specific angle. Like if you're watching him as he was being filmed. Like, if it wasn't at, like, the exact right, angle, you can actually see the red dot. So even that is actually quite hard to see. And so they were talking about how Intel are working on making smart glasses that look like regular glasses. And they do. Like, if you if you look at the sides close up, you can tell they're not just glasses. But, looking at them from a distance, from...
You could get away with just wearing them.
Yeah. Now, it is important to say that they don't have a camera built in, which is part of their compactness. They're designed to be like a notification device more than anything else, right? So, the idea being that, you get, you use it like I use my smartwatch, right? You get a notification, you can see it right there. They do actually, because of the way it works, they actually have to custom fit it per person. So you can't just pick it up and wear it. You have to get them custom made for you, which I guess is another good barrier. But it is definitely interesting that they're shining a laser directly into your eyeball.
But I would imagine that it's one of those things that I think probably somewhere in the article, because I was reading it through, and it says that if you're not looking at it, it's basically gone, which makes sense. So you can wear them, they're on all the time, but unless you're actually focusing on it, you won't be able to see it, and it won't be there, although it is all there all the time.
Yeah, it's just below your vision, right? So it's designed to be just under where you can see. So if you glance down, you'll be able to see it.
Yeah.
Whereas if you look
it's gonna be a bunch of people walking around
yeah, I can imagine the occasional glance
at the
down.
Floor. He's just not paying attention to us at all. He's just looking at his Twitter notifications.
Right. And I think it's great for directions, right? I love that use case for it, right? You'll be trying to get somewhere and having Google Maps directions. That's a good use case. And I feel like I can see occasions where this would be really useful. I mean, I have Snapchat spectacles. I don't exactly make the best purchasing decisions, clearly. But yeah, they're and if you choose to not look at where the screen is, it just disappears.
Yeah.
The fact that you can barely tell they're smart glasses is terrifying to me. However, and this is a corporate device, and this isn't for normal people. The company called Meta. So if you go to metavision.com, they have an AR thing and this is designed for in the workplace, right? So these kind of look like HoloLens. However, their use case. So the HoloLens is very good at positional tracking, right? So if you want to put something somewhere, it's really good at that, and it's really good at making sure it stays in that place. This is designed for wide field of view and really high resolution. So when you look at something through this, it looks like it's actually there.
Oh, so like the lovely Tony Stark things where you drag stuff around.
Yeah, that kind of deal. And the CEO of Meta was actually talking about it, and he said that he actually has replaced his computer setup, like at work, his desk, with this, because you put this on and you have as many screens as you need, right? If you want to move something, you reach out, grab it, stretch it, pin it to a wall, whatever. And so he doesn't actually have, like, occasionally he'll use like a keyboard for input, right? If he has to type something, you'll use a keyboard. If you want to do some gaming, you'll use a mouse as well. But the idea is you wear this and you just replace
everything. Oh, wow. That's
terrifying.
Insane. Technology is getting scary.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I mean, in a way, I found it fascinating that we've been able to make all of this stuff, but especially when you watch it in like superhero movies, like this is the kind of stuff that you see Tony Stark messing around with, dragging his city maps and pinpointing everything and being able to physically move stuff just because it's all AR and whatever. But it's absolutely phenomenal that we've been able to make this kind of stuff. And it's impossible, all this, blah, 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 and it's not, it's happening, like, it's a thing.
I think the only thing stopping us from having an Iron Man suit in real life is that Elon Musk doesn't quite want one right now.
Yeah, he'll get around to it.
I feel like the moment Elon Musk is like, what would be really good? An Iron Man suit. He'll just make it happen.
Like an actual...
Like, it will just be a thing that exists at that point.
And everyone would be like, right, okay, we have superheroes now. Cool. Cool. That's fine. We can live with that. Yeah. That'd make filming the movies a whole lot easier, though, to be fair. Just had an Iron Man suit. You could just, done.
Interestingly, I've just gone in to look at this video stats, right? Mm. So we have 4 live viewers right now, which is great. Mm-hmm. We have 7 people who watched it overall, so 7 playbacks. But interestingly, we have 4 likes and 2 dislikes. So everyone apart from one person has hit the like or dislike button, which is hilarious to me. And clearly, 2 of them just came in, hit like or dislike, or in this case dislike, I would assume, came in, hit dislike, and then just left, which is hilarious to me.
Yeah.
I wonder if I can see the exact moment they did that. Oh yeah, there's a... Wait, hang on. I can guess when they did it, because there's a couple of moments where for a few seconds we have a viewer and then they leave again. So just saying.
What else? I mean, Elon Musk, what a man. Like you say, it is
crazy,
essentially
right?
When he wants one, he will make it.
Yeah, when he wants something, he'll make it happen. And on the subject of Elon Musk making stuff happen, the Falcon Heavy rocket launched this week, which is crazy.
Oh. Do you know what? It's impressive. It is impressive. It really is, because rockets are difficult enough.
It is literally rocket
science. It's not
science.
Like an easy thing. Yeah, it's not by any means. This is not something I've remotely studied at all, really. But it's not an easy thing. Launching a rocket, there's a lot. I mean, even we've probably refined the process, I would say, pretty well now. We know how to do it, but we still have complications with things. The heavier they get, the more fuel that's required, then because you need more. You need more of everything to get it up there. I can't think of the right word. I'm losing. It's just gone. But you require more fuel, obviously, to get it out of orbit, and then there's all these other things that you need to consider if you want some of it to come back. Yeah. And the heavier it gets, the more difficult it becomes to get it up there, A, safely, and B, if you want something to come back, to get it to come back in one piece.
Yeah.
So to have something this heavy go up and be successful is it's pretty impressive, not gonna lie. It is pretty impressive.
And quite crazily, to me at least, the most amazing part wasn't even the launch of a rocket. It was the things that landed and the car that went up with the rocket, right?
I mean, I was in part impressed and also slightly annoyed. Like, is it? Hang on. So it's being sent towards Mars's orbit,
Yes.
isn't it?
The hope
That's
is it
the
will.
sort of go off in that direction, and but for the moment, it's kind of stuck relatively close for us, and there's already a lot of stuff up there anyway. So in part, I was a bit like, you're just cluttering up. I mean, there's a lot of space, but there's not much near us anymore. So please stop sending out this, But if it's going somewhere else, that's fine. If you can get it close enough to Mars, be my guest. But I mean, it's an interesting thing. I suppose you can. It's just because he wants to say, "Hey, my car's in space now."
Well, I think the reason was, if I recall correctly, the actual reason was they needed something in the rocket, right? They needed a payload, right, to prove that it would take up this payload. And they were like, you know what, screw it, let's just stick a car in there, right? They were like, we have one of these lying around, right? So instead of sticking in like however many kilograms of dirt, right, to prove it worked, they're like, you know what, screw it, why don't we just put in the car instead? So it is. It has actually exceeded the Mars orbit and is expected to go to the asteroid belt.
Well, expect that car to not last long if it gets there.
Well, if the asteroid belt isn't actually that... That's a common misconception of the asteroid belt, right?
Yeah, it's not that.
It's not like there's an asteroid
But
like every 30
for the sake of everyone
meters.
else, everyone's going to think it's going to smack into an asteroid or something when in reality it probably won't.
They're still like hundreds of kilometers apart.
It'll be funny if it did. It will be funny if it did. I will find it slightly funny if it did, but it's not highly unlikely, but it probably won't happen like instantaneously. It won't hit the asteroid belt and literally smash into an asteroid, but it would be funny if it did.
The craziest part for me, though, however, wasn't the initial rocket going up. It was watching the two side rockets land themselves simultaneously.
Oh yeah, I was just watching the video. That was like
the trippiest thing. Just watching that.
Perfect, It's very bizarre how they've come down. It's basically perfect, which it honestly could not have gone better, probably in their mind and in everyone else's mind. It could have not gone any better than having the two parts down that you wanted to come back not only land, but basically synchronized exactly where you want them to be. Because it's not like rare that things happen, pretty much at the same time. It's a very difficult thing, especially things of this size, and the amount of maths and planning that has to go in to make things like this happen, and for it to work so perfectly with very little faults mentioned is rather impressive. I imagine it will have taken an awful lot of time to get something like this to work as well as it did, and it is an amazing achievement. Really, as weird as it is, it's a good achievement. Why we would ever need something that heavy, I do not know, but it happened. So
the craziest thing to me was like, I was talking to my dad about it right after, like the day after, and I was like, "Hey, Dad, did you watch the SpaceX thing? It was cool." And he was like, "What do you mean? Did I watch it? We were streaming it live, and I was cheering as it happened." Like, he was genuinely excited by it. And he was like, I'd happily give Elon Musk all of my money at this point.
It is impressive. It really is impressive. Like, things like this never fail to amaze me. Like I was saying, even about the glasses, it is fascinating. The feats we can come to. Where'd you go?
I'm still here.
Oh, your webcam cut off. But,
did it? It's still it's fine on my end.
Oh, that's weird. It went anyway. But yeah, it is amazing the feats we come to when you think about we were fascinated by getting to the moon, let alone sending cars towards the asteroid belt. Like how far we've come now, guys. Look at that. We went to the moon for research, and now we send cars into the asteroid belt because we can.
Right.
It's like when you put it like that, it's really bizarre. Like, I mean, it was for a form of research and just to see if it was possible, and now we know it definitely is. But it's weird to know that our thoughts have changed quite a bit. It's not just about exploration and doing research on planets now. It's like, okay, so how far can we push this? What can we do? What can we send out there? What does work? And, something that's just a phenomenal weight.
Phenomena.
That's almost phenomena. That's nearly, 3 times the weight of the first one? No, probably 2.5 times the weight of the first one is just mind-blowing, And space travel is a fairly recent thing, I would say. It's not like an old thing, space travel. So in the grand scheme of technologies and the scale of it, it's come very far in what would be a fairly short space of time, I would say. So, I mean, in the grand scheme of tech anyway, it's not had long to develop compared to some other things. So it's done incredibly well. Yeah.
Bloody Elon Musk.
Well, if he wants it, it gets done, apparently.
That is how it works. That is how the universe works, apparently. Elon Musk is just like, give me this thing, and then he gets the thing.
And then it happens, yeah.
He asks for it and it happens. It's that simple. Elon, can you do me a favor real quick? Next time you're thinking about something you want, do you mind mentioning that it'd be really great if Snappy-Tech had a bunch of subscribers as well? That'd be greatly appreciated.
Can you just send it that way, please?
Yeah, send it our way. Cheers, Beb. Love you too, Elon. love you, Elon.
Yeah.
I guess let's end this. I don't want to run on for too long because A, we started a touch late. B, I know you need to get going, and C, it's late here. I've had a crazy day. I just want to get some sleep at some point, to be completely honest with you. I have 2 weeks left in Georgia, so this is I'm winding everything down.
Podcast.
Penultimate podcast in Georgia. Next week we have a special guest, which should be really good.
Ooh.
And then the week after, it's me, you, and Paul for my first podcast back in the UK. I land in the UK at 5, and then we go live at 8. So that is literally my plan. I will be just in the door, at home, and then we'll be going live.
Setting up and getting on. Yeah.
That's literally my plan.
That's what content creating is all about.
Whoop. All about that grind.
That's what it's all about. Yeah. Oh god. That grind. This would kind of. I don't like it to refer to it as a grind. I see so many people grinding out a video game. That just makes me want to not play it. Makes it sound stressful.
Well, it is. If you're grinding it out.
Yeah. True. I'm kind of grateful. I don't play many games that require a grind. They just require a lot of
talent that you don't
effort. Yeah, basically at the moment, and abusing systems that really should not be in place. But if you know it, you can get it to work in your favor, which is basically what I'm doing at the moment. So, thanks League for metas. I like it. Getting me those champs that I have no idea how to play, but somehow do well every time because they're just good at the moment. It's basically what I'm doing.
That's the right way to do it, to be fair.
Yeah, it is. You don't necessarily have to be great at the game, but as long as you know what's going on in the game, you're fine.
Good enough.
Yeah.
Good enough. So, let's talk about the Keychain Gameboy. Because everyone knows you're a fake gamer, so...
Yeah. Oh, it's so cute. It's so cute.
It's in no way practical, though, let's be completely honest here.
No, it's really not.
If you're not aware, this is a fully functional Game Boy that is literally tiny. It has an OLED display, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, a built-in speaker, a dual-core processor, 520 kilobytes of RAM, I should say, and that makes it vastly more powerful than the original Game Boy. Has some built-in emulators.
Wow. Is it?
Sorry, go for it.
So I take it you upload the games to it, sort of thing. Oh, that's amazing. I want one.
It costs $45 right now.
I really want one.
It
I'm
is.
gonna do
It
it.
is. So there's also a slightly larger one called the Pocket Star.
The Pocket
But
Star.
even that isn't that big,
Ooh.
or is it the same thing? No, I think it. Oh no, it is the same thing. So it's called the Pocket Sprite, and then the Pocket Star.
Pocket Sprite and the Pocket Star. Ooh.
It is tiny.
It is the small.
I can't see anyone
It's
practically
interesting.
using this.
It's interesting how they've chosen to give it like an actual a keypad, because that looks incredibly difficult to use.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you would mess up which you're pushing, but anyway, it's still. I still want one, regardless, because it's so small.
Do you know how big it is?
It looks like, for comparison, that big.
It's 30
Maybe?
millimeters by 50 millimeters.
Oh.
It actually has the record for the smallest Game Boy in height.
Oh, so that means it's like this big. It's tiny.
Yes, it is
Oh.
tiny. Because,
I
you're
really want
supposed
one
to
now.
put it on your keys.
I mean, I wouldn't want to. I'd be so scared if I sat on it, I'd break it or something.
You wouldn't though, it's so small that you wouldn't, right?
True.
I think that's a level of smallness where it just... Yeah, I think it'd be fine, personally.
Oh, it's color and everything.
Yeah, it's a AMOLED, well not AMOLED, but, OLED display.
Oh my.
And then they have
the
their own
Pockets-
games in development right now that are designed to just make better use of the OLED display. So they have
my.
games that have a true black background, Pac-Man, Tetris, Pong, Flappy Bird.
The best thing is it's considerably better than the original Game Boy, which is also insane.
Yeah, that's the crazy bit to me. Yeah.
Yeah. It's so small yet better. I'm confused. Do you know what would be really cool if you could get customizable faceplates and stuff? That would be another massive selling point. If you could pop off the front and get
So it comes in two versions:
ones
an
or-
assembled version and a DIY version, so you can build it yourself. So you could do
build
that.
it yourself. That'd be amazing. And you could 3D print
Mhm.
a front thing. Oh, that'd be amazing.
You could 3D
That
print your
honest-
new
that would be
logo on the back.
That'd be so cool. That'd be so cool. Oh, I know what I'm asking for my birthday. Jesus, I want one of these things. The thing is, what's annoying is I still have my So I had a Game Boy Micro. I never had one of the old ones. So I had I don't know if I think I still have it. I don't know where it is, but I had a Game Boy Micro, and I feel like because they weren't tiny. They were about small smartphone size nowadays, I suppose.
Right.
Quite thin, so I might be used to playing on tiny consoles because I had a small one. So going even smaller shouldn't be too much of a problem. But I feel my only issue with it is that I feel like the D-pad is a bit
Too small.
because your thumb is it's quite a big, and I feel like even on an Xbox controller, it covers up the whole thing, just my thumb resting on it.
Right. Oh, we've hang on. We've killed Emily. Emily? Yeah, I think Emily's dead. Wait a second, let me just switch to just me real quick. 1 second. Okay, I'm not sure if she's dead or I am. I think it might be me. Let me just restart Discord just in case it's me.
I'm not dead. I can still hear you the whole
okay,
time.
there you are. You're back.
Yeah, I can still hear you the whole time. I was
You can
George,
hear me?
I'm not dead. Yeah.
Oops, wrong button. There we are. You were definitely dead.
Well, I'm here now.
Whoop, whoop.
But yeah, it's cute. It's a small little thing. I feel
It's
like
so tiny.
it would be a good gimmick present if you didn't know what to get for someone. You're like, hey, I got you this tiny little
I
thing.
mean, it would be if it didn't cost, what was it, $45?
40 quid. Yeah. I mean, it's just like if you could get it as a novelty gift, it's a great novelty gift, but it would also, I feel like it would make a good present as well, because it's just a cool little thing to have, like it's one of those things that like, it's like what, you see those people that buy hundreds and hundreds of pop vinyls, just be cool. And I feel like it'd be that kind of thing. Like, why do you want one? Just because it's the smallest Game Boy in the world right now? I don't know. Why wouldn't you want one?
So currently it's $13.99 if you get it on the... There's 19 left, so if you get it on early bird, it's $13.99. $13.99, sorry, 30. So if I were you, I'd get it right now.
Yeah, I was going to say, and there's free delivery on it. Mm.
And yeah, probably. Most importantly, however, the price when it comes out will be €45, so about 40 quid.
That's still not even.
It's not expensive, definitely not.
No.
But I just feel like it's too much for me to justify it being like as a gag gift, right?
Yeah.
And especially if it's something that isn't used, I can't imagine like buying it for someone. Like I don't know, I might like leave it. I might have it on my keys. Like I can see that being a thing because I don't have keys while I'm here, but whilst I'm in the UK, yeah, I can see that being a thing. But
I tell you what, it would be pretty cool if your phone died and you had it on your keys. You have something to do, I guess.
Oh my god, you would.
Like you'd always have something to do.
You're so encased in the digital world that you can't deal with not being able to in it for like 10 minutes.
For 10 minutes. Yeah. You'll always have something to do.
God's sake, Emily.
Well, it's just a thought. You would have something to do all the time.
Right, so let's slowly wrap this up with you talking about your stuff. So tell everyone about everything that is Professor X.
Oh god. So my stuff, my Twitter is at Professor X with a double F. My Twitch is /It's Professor X, and I'll be going live tomorrow from 11 a.m. I have had a schedule change though, so if you're in the US, you will be able to catch me on Tuesdays and Thursdays, which is nice.
Ooh. And then on top of that, make sure to check out her Discord. There's a link to it in the Twitch thing. Potential merch coming soon, so keep your eye out on that. I highly suggest going and giving Emily a watch. She is... actually, I was thinking about it like earlier today, right? And I was like scrolling through Twitter and something, I forget what it was. I saw something that reminded me of your tweet, right?
Right.
Where you said that I was your inspiration. And I was like, you know what? Right now, I think Emily's my inspiration. Like, I think we both inspire each other right now. Like, but that's just the point I'm at.
It's a good thing, though, because it's nice to have people as your inspiration, because then you can always be like, right, I need to talk to this person because they make me want to do stuff. Yes. They motivate me to actually do shit. So, it's better than having an inspiration that you can't ever talk to and just like watching far. It's nice having someone that you can be like, hey, talking to you makes me want to do stuff better, sort of thing. So it's good.
And seeing the explosive success of your Twitch is also great. So do go check her out if you haven't already, because it is an awesome thing to go watch. Outside of that, we are working on things. We have the Patreon that will be up in the next week. We have the Coffee, which is ko-fi.com/Snappy-Tech. If you want to buy me a cup of coffee, it'd be greatly appreciated. If you want to buy me 10 cups of coffee, that is too much coffee for one day, but I'll drink it eventually. Patreon is coming soon. We'll have some hoodies at some point that I'll be able to give out to people if they want it soon. What else? Go to smpy.tech/podcast for the audio version of this, complete with show notes that will come out in roughly 24 hours. It depends. It's a lot of work, and it's on a. The issue is because I'm in Georgia, I finish at about midnight, and I'm in a TV station, so I can't just stick around indefinitely, right? If I was just at home, I'd keep working until it was done and ready to go up. But I can't do that here because there's things going on and I have to leave around 12 o'clock. So we'll go up as soon as I'm done. Tomorrow, I walked like 6.5 kilometers yesterday. Fun fact.
Oh, jeez.
That was fun.
Oh, jeez.
I was also on my Snapchat, so go to snpy.tech/Snapchat to see my daily vlogging. There's MKBHD did a really good video called Dear Snapchat, and then they released a new layout, which apparently everyone hates. But I'm yet to see it, so I'm okay with that.
I haven't done the update yet. So
Yeah, I've been like,
I'm avoiding it, to be honest.
well, the thing is, it seems to be a server-side update, which is part of the issue, right? So all they have to do is like flick a switch, and like it doesn't matter if your actual thing is out of date, like if your actual Snapchat app isn't up to date. So we shall see.
I suppose I should do it soon, probably.
Well, the people in the beta on Android have had it since December, and they say that they got used to it after about a month. It's one of those things where people always like blow out of proportion, right? Like every time anything changes.
Like when Facebook changed and everyone freaked out.
Right. So, every time I see people flipping out about some update, I'm like, oh my God, rein it in for God's sakes. So
you'll be used to it in like a week.
Exactly. So yeah, snpy.tech/podcast/Snapchat/Facebook/Twitter/ pretty much anything, and you'll find me. Go do it. We'll greatly appreciate it. If you have some spare money, I'll greatly appreciate a coffee as well. If not, Patreon will be up soon, and that'll be great. Also, thank you so much for joining us. We will see you next week. Well, who do we have next week? We have the wonderful, what's his name? Hang on. I've forgotten his name.
Nice.
Oh no. What have I done?
Is it one of those situations you remember the screen name but not the name?
Yeah, I remember his email. Hang on. It's Eric Rosenberg, I believe. From Personal Profitability. He is. Let me pull up his bio real quick, because he's actually a really interesting guy. Let's give you a quick teaser of next week's podcast. So Eric Rosenberg is a finance and entrepreneurship writer. He does writing and speaking, events and stuff about personal profitability as well. What else do we have here? This is next week's episode. It's going to be it's going to be me stumbling every 5 seconds, and him just being like, "Oh my God, you're so basic," that kind of deal. So Eric is a finance guy from Colorado. He'll actually we go live at 10 p.m. Georgian time, right? It's actually 10 a.m. Colorado time. So for him, it's like the first thing he's going to do in the morning.
Oh, God.
Crazy.
Rather that than the last. At least he won't be tired towards the end of it, which is a bonus.
So he has an MBA in finance and shares great income growth, investment banking, and lifestyle articles and podcast every week. Really interesting guy. Should be good. We're going to talk about tech, and it'll be a fun episode. So come join us for that next week. It's going to be great. We'll see you then. Bye.
Bye-bye.